beautiful friends. Let's see what we can get done today. Welcome to the Kainos and the New Energy Era YouTube page. My name is Lauren Hutton. I'm an ascended master who returned to Earth just for the Age of Aquarius. Every incarnation I have chosen has been at these big shifts, these huge shifts in all of creation. And I don't know if you know this, but for me, coming to Earth means leaving my family behind. Now, Moria and I incarnated a lot together in various lifetimes. Katumi and I have incarnated in various lifetimes. Saint G, Moria and I, though, we would come together. And so it didn't feel so jarring to leave the family. But in this Age of Aquarius, and I think you all know, it's so different. It is so different. So leaving your family to come to Earth, leaving your family to come to Earth just for the Age of Aquarius. It was that important. It was that important. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my family standing around me, not in a physical body, but it's not the same. You don't have the full present awareness of being with your family. A lot of you have been incarnating with the same souls over and over again, and at the end of this life, you'll have to leave this family or continue to repeat the repeating cycles with them. But it's something that's very interesting. So speaking of family, today I have Saint G standing behind me. I'm not channeling him, but I need a masculine counterpart for me to be my full self. And Saint G says, since Alex dropped the ball, fumbled it so badly, he's here until my last breath when I finally leave this place and go home to my family in the kingdom Shambhala. He's going to stand back here and make sure I have what I need. So thank you. Thank you, Saint G. Thank you guys for being here. I want to bring this down. I have some notes, but I'm going to put them down for now. I'll just go back to them to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because, these channels that I bring in, they take days. They take days and hours and hours and hours to bring in. Thank you so much, donors. It's less about the money. Money's just energy. It just keeps the energy flowing here. And I don't feel so drained when I'm spending days and days and days pulling in channels. Hey, Juna, I have got to record this. Can you sit down, please? Can you lay all the way down? Oh, he's stressed out. Please stop it. I'm not going to hit re-record, right? We just keep going. We just keep going. So to bring these channels in, it takes me days and days and days to pull them all together. And so I just jot down little notes of like, oh, don't forget this. Hey, Juna, can you sit down, please? Sit down. Thank you. It's a lot of energy. He's feeling all of you guys' energy. And that's what I really want to talk about today. Oh my gosh. So I guess it's really intense to be on Earth if you are not grounded. That's what I'm getting. Because when I feel into everybody else, oh, my bracelet just fell off. The higher the information I pull in, the more the entity, beings, duality, Maya, the devil's not a person, it's duality, start to kind of hammer in to my reality. The solution to that, if it happens to you, is to raise yourself up. I'm not a big fan of frequency and vibration. New energy moves in all directions, but for something for the mind is you pull yourself up to such a level that that duality can't reach you anymore. And as Yeshua dealt with, he had so many encounters with the devil of Maya, duality, the real illusion, good, bad, right, wrong, all the dualities. He had so many interactions with the devil. Just know when I say the devil, I don't mean like a person. It's not a person, right? If you haven't met the devil, it's because you're doing a number on yourself. You're apathetic, depressed, in doubt, in scarcity, you're not going to get the devil's attention, right? You're not doing enough to get his attention. You're already destroying yourself, right? That's where this devil that is duality, that is Maya, delusion, in this samsara-filled world. You'll never meet the devil if you're doing it to yourself, right? But as you rise up, the more I rise up, the more I get my shit together, the more my nervous system is moving into that third nervous system, and the more it shows up. So you have the nervous poodle who just laid down because somebody was messing with them, and then the bracelet falling off. I'm gonna grab my bracelet back. Oh, you know what it says? You know what it says? It says, God is within her. She will not fall. She will not fall. God is within her. So in addition to the devil not being a person, I don't believe in an external God. God lives inside us all. Lying dormant in your spine is the divine. Lying dormant in your spine is the divine. So going back to what's happening on earth, I'm acting it out, for God's sake. It's like no one wants to have clarity, right? We're back to the duality does not want you to have clarity. Clarity is free from duality and Maya. Compassion is free from duality, Maya. And faith certainly contains no duality, delusion, Maya, the devil. Faith, clarity, and compassion. It's what's going to get you through the static that is January 2026. January 2026 is all static. It's now you're back in the political warfare, right? A lot of you have gotten lost in politics again. Other people have gotten lost, and I don't want to be here, right? I don't want to be here. After you have your full-blown enlightenment and you realize that this whole world is an illusion, it is very hard to go beyond the idea that you're just sitting here doing time, right? After my full-blown enlightenment, I wish I could have stretched it out even longer. Everyone was in a rush. I was stretching mine out until I couldn't hold it back anymore. Like, you know, an orgasm, right? You don't want to have an orgasm in the first few minutes, right? You want to build it and then have that really nice release. That is what I did with my enlightenment. I let it build till I could not hold it back any longer. And then I had the best orgasm of my life, which was allowing this human to have a direct meeting contact, tangible, tasteable contact with God consciousness. After that wears off, right? After the drugs wear off, after the oxytocin from this massive orgasm wears off, you can feel like you're doing time on earth. So I feel like some of you are in the doing time mentality. It's easy to get there. It's even harder to get out. You know, some of you have gone back into the duality of politics, good, bad, right, and wrong. Another faction is in the spiritual eject button. I just want to get high on activations. Oh my God, look at this complicated and crazy spiritual process. I'll just deny my human nature, totally disconnect from my body, and I'll travel the cosmos without my body. When I say I'm traveling the cosmos, I am fully aligned, grounded in my body, fully here when I'm traveling the cosmos. You do not hit the eject button. We're not astral traveling. That's Piscean Age. Now, at our events that we host, the rudest thing that can happen is people show up, they brought their body, but their consciousness is floating around out here like a helium balloon, right? Totally disconnected. They've hit the eject button. They have a blank stare in their eyes, little drool coming out of their mouth. They're not on earth at all, right? So You have the people getting involved in the politics, the people who just want this lifetime to be over, blah, 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 blah. They're in a prison that is the enlightenment prison, right? Where it's like, oh, I can't stand being here on earth. I'm just doing time, right? John Lennon wrote a song called Watching the Wheels. I'm just sitting here doing time. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll, right? So we've got those people back involved in good, bad, right, and wrong politics, 3D duality, right? Remember, that's why Judas betrayed Yeshua. He didn't really betray Yeshua, he betrayed himself. But he was like, you're not going to fight off the Romans? And Yeshua was like, I didn't come here to fight in the 3D, right? This is a battle of cosmic proportions. Forget about the Romans. It's so much bigger than that, right? But you guys are stuck in the Roman soldier fight, right? Then there's the people, I'm just barely in life because I can't kill myself, but I don't really want to be here. Enlightenment prison. Then you have the spiritual eject button people. They're, oh, yeah, I mean, I've done so much research on what people are talking about, the splitting of the earth, the financial system's going to collapse. Instant manifestation, the financial thing is going to collapse. You won't need money anymore. You just manifest instantly. You know how many years these new age people have been saying that's going to happen? And then, so everybody, like, if you believe that, you're sitting around waiting for instant manifestation to be a thing. So you don't need to go to work. It's like, I just bypass, right? So that the earths are splitting apart, right? Money will probably not be a thing in the future, right? But today it is, and you need money to be free in life. So that's why we've been doing our donor series in the background, those unlisted videos for all the donors, because to be free in this life, suck it up, buttercup, you have to have money, right? It's not so you can have a status or buy fancy things. It's so no one can control you. When you're in a scarcity mindset, you are being controlled. And that is an Atlantean hangover. That's how the civilization was set up. So we've been doing that behind the scenes. All right, so I'm just kind of feeling into all these parts and pieces, the spiritual eject people. If you really, truly want to ascend, you have to descend your consciousness all the way down to the 0 point of you. Then you can begin to move vertically, horizontally, and eventually in all directions. The other thing I see in my research on YouTube is like, the earths are splitting and you have to be on one side or the other. And if you're not on the good side, then you get sucked into the bad side. If you have your light body, you can go anywhere you want. That is the whole point of the light body. When you are fully present with your consciousness and your biology simultaneously, and you allow the natural alchemical transformation to take place between the energy of biology and the consciousness of you being God also, when those two combine, you create a vehicle, used to be called Merkaba in the old ways. You create a vehicle where you can go anywhere. You can be in the lowest of the low 3D reality. In fact, you might enjoy it from time to time. I'm going to talk more about that. You can be in Shambhala, then you can go from Shambhala the kingdom to the far outer edges, like Tobias. Katumi moves freely throughout the cosmos because he created a light body in his last lifetime on Earth. So people who are selling you one way or another, right, they get 100,000 views on their YouTube channel, right? Scary, scary shit. How do I get in that reality? Let me throw all my eggs in that basket. Then they have a website where 200,000 people pay them for a database of spiritual activations where they get really, really high on these spiritual activations, but they can't hold a job or pay their bills or actually interact in the world and form a complete sentence. Their body becomes just a bag, an empty bag of blood, guts, whatever. Just an empty bag floating around. The soul's barely pinned on. It's a helium balloon that's barely pinned on. You know, I hope I'm making sense to you guys. So what I'm trying to say is the Age of Aquarius is all about grounded alignment. Direct eye contact. When you look at someone, you have the eyes of the God also looking out of your eyes. You look in the mirror, you're looking at God also. When you interact with people in the world, you have that sense of presence. You have a resonance with the divine. Now, in the donor videos, we've been working on all forms of abundance, not operating from scarcity. This last month, we went into the indifferent universe, right? Where it's like the universe doesn't care whether you're a bad guy or a good guy. Energy in this matrix responds to confidence, who you think you are, right? We talked about that, but those are electromagnetic grids. The matrix is an electromagnetic grid. When you bring God consciousness into the equation, the plasma of consciousness enters into the electromagnetic grids, and it recreates the entire playing field to a new energy playing field. So after I recorded that donor video, a whole slew of people were like, oh, that looks like work. I'm not doing that. Canceled all their donations, even though they still watch all the YouTube videos, canceled their donations. And it's like, people just want to get to Z without having to go A, B, C, D. I can't teach you how new energy works without teaching you how the old energy works. You have to start from a baseline. The sense of entitlement in the spiritual community for big highs, for bags of money to drop out of the sky, for this to happen, instant manifestation and activation and ascension without descending your consciousness first. Imagine if you took all that time and energy you spent looking for the easy way out. Imagine if you used a tiny bit of that energy you spent looking for the instant whatever that never came, and you actually just put in the work. What if you took a fraction of that spiritual seeking identity who was looking for the quick fix, the ascend out of here, get out of here, get on the, right? Next big thing. Threshold addicts, addicted to the threshold, but never actually stepping off the cliff, right? What if you took even a fraction of that energy and put it into some things like meditating every morning and every night? I do that. In this world, we are processing so much information all the time. How are we going to hear God, which is you? God lives inside of you, right? God lived within her, right? And I recommend morning and night because that in between, when you first wake up in the morning, between sleep and fully awake, is an excellent time to speak to God inside, internal God. God lives in your spine. It's dormant, waiting to be released, whether it's through a Kundalini awakening or through the Singular Communications Network. And then before you go to bed is an excellent time. I just start skipping all the Ascended Masters. The Ascended Masters are my family, right? If you have a family, you know, everybody has an idea of what you should be doing in your family, but God's the true source, right? So I just say all the Ascended Masters when I'm going to bed, I say, okay, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. And it's just me and God right now, me and myself. God is me. I am God also. You know, the God inside of you created this human form. It was a gift. It was a privilege. The God also in you created this human lifetime. Therefore, it is your responsibility to actually live it in an aligned, grounded way. It's your responsibility to live the life that your God also gave you, right? When you are trying to get anywhere but here through spiritual escapist, it's like some of you guys are like drug addicts with it. Here's a new thing. Oh, sentience, it's a new thing. Oh, this is a new thing. This is a new thing. Oh, I finally get it. Or you just get lost in YouTube or Reels or whatever, right? There's no mind, body, spirit connection in that. I mean, I'm not saying don't go listen to other materials. I do just to see what's out there. But are they instilling grounded alignment? I am consciousness. I am here in you? Or is it making your Atlantean design mind feel like somebody is playing pinball inside your head? Does it induce fear? Oh my God, the whole world's gonna collapse. I better prepare for the apocalypse. The apocalypse is happening inside of you. It's realizing everywhere you lied to yourself, allowing I am forgiveness and filling in those dark holes with the light, right? It's embracing the shadow side. The embraced shadows are just reflections of light. Right? Unembraced shadows are toxic patterns and behaviors. Unembraced shadows are just toxic patterns and behaviors. So if you read our newsletter, if you missed it, I actually put this one publicly on the YouTube post page, right? The wave is about to peak. I am feeling this new light wave, which is a delivery mechanism for new energy. A lot of you feel like you're kind of lost and scrambling around on it, on this wave that's forming, right? But we're going to start the drop, which it'll feel like a boost that you need, Like in surfing, you need to get your surfboard positioned right to ride the wave correctly without getting creamed. Right? So you paddle and then you kind of go, oh, I need to back off the paddling. And this is all through knowingness, inner knowingness of how to position yourself. Once you get yourself in the right position, you hang out there until the wave naturally picks you up and then you begin your descent and you stand up on your surfboard and you go down, right? I feel like that standing up on your surfboard going down is going to start around February 7th through 17th, right? So here's the time to get yourself organized, right? Grounded, aligned. All you have to do that is, what's my nervous system doing? Oh, I'm in a state of active rest right now. I'm stretching the capacity, that's a light body code, of this nervous system. I'm fully in the faith, clarity, compassion, Kainos Trinity. I'm clear on the parts I need to lean into and the parts I need to walk away from. I'm honest with myself. I'm not trying to go to the next spiritual activation that'll distract me from being honest with myself and where I'm at and who I am and what I'm here to do. Compassion, when you see those parts and pieces you have neglected, you have abandoned, you pick them back up. You have compassion for yourself and those parts you siphoned off because you didn't like them too much. You bring them home. Compassion. Compassion for humans who are in a mental psychosis, a collective mental psychosis in that mass consciousness that you created, likely with the headband, right? So you have so many layers of I am, forgiveness, compassion, and clarity happening. I can understand why you just want to go to buy the next workshop, buy the next thing, go to the next activation, right? Grounded clarity doesn't always feel great. especially in this world where there's so many things you can bury yourself in as to not face yourself, right? I read an article in the Wall Street Journal recently, and it was they used the term critical ignoring. There's so much information coming in that you have to be it's so critical that you figure out a way to train your nervous system, your biology, your mind to focus on what's important to you, right? And in doing all of this and in being here, like really truly being here, I would say once you can get all this in alignment, really truly be here, the next thing you want to do is to have fun. Is to have fun. It's to have fun, right? Do you remember what that is? Do you remember what fun is? It's what happens when you turn your phone off and you go hang out with beings like us. Speaking of fun, our upcoming events are going to be so great. You know, we don't just do we do the workshop part. Anybody who wants to talk in the workshop, I hand my mic over. It's not like a teacher-student dynamic. We're all sitting, sharing what's going on. I bring in some fun things to channel, right? And if you want to come up and speak, I hand you the microphone, right? Everybody gets a chance. Lynn in Canada sat up at the table, gave us a whole lecture. It was great, right? But we also do fun activities. In Romania, the night before the Romania event, we have game night, then we have the event, then we're gonna have a dinner, or those might be switched, but there'll be fun activities all around it. Same thing in Germany. We all get together. You know, we're doing the light body in that one, so you have your vehicle, you can travel anywhere, and you don't have to worry about if you're on the fucking ship or off the fucking ship. Sorry, St. G. But it's like once you have your full light body, through the descension of consciousness, then you can move in all directions as a new energy being. Once you have that descension of consciousness going, you can be anywhere in the cosmos and never get stuck. Stop trying to bypass this biology. This is your tool. New energy is an equation. You need an energy piece and you need the consciousness piece. God, I am that I am. I am consciousness. Divinity, source, subjective oneness, subjectivity is key, right? That's the consciousness piece. The energy piece is your humanity, your biology, right? Yeshua is the example we have of this, right? And he was fully human. He laughed, he cried, he yelled, he fought off demons. He was betrayed in ways that broke his heart into a million pieces. He was human. When the nails went into his feet and his hands, crushing the bones, the tarsals, the metatarsals, it hurt just as bad as it would hurt you. Stop trying to sanitize Jesus or ascended masters. To be a human on earth is a great privilege and honor, and when you hide in your house or just spend your life getting high off spiritual activations, trying to claw your way out of matter because you associate matter with hell, anybody who tells you that heaven is something outside yourself or lives in a future timeline should be put in jail. The kingdom, Shambhala, is found in this ground in alignment. It's right here, right now. It lives inside of you. Anyone who's trying to sell you a bunch of stuff that's like on the other side, oh, we're ascending to an undefined place, the Ascension Support Group, whatever, people. We don't know where we're going. If you just put yourself here into this biological form, make peace with a matter-based reality, make peace with your biological body, make peace with being human, creating enough space for your humanity and divinity to coexist. The human is never going to be perfect. It's always going to be human. You're living your life like as Yeshua lived your life. There are going to be people who resist what you're doing, right? Then you will actually meet the devil when you are leveling up. If you haven't met the devil, that resistance of the fish swimming upstream, like we see in Christian symbology, that fish is swimming upstream. If you don't have other fish that are going with the flow into the hell that is living on earth as a separated consciousness human, right? If you're not swimming past fish or feeling resistance or, fighting off some of this stuff, that's because you've taken care of your own misery. If you're in hell, the devil doesn't need to come recruit you. You already recruited yourself, right? So as you level up, and by leveling up, I'm not meaning getting high and having the weird eyes and calling your friend and be like, oh, I've just jumped timelines. You are activating a DNA strand in the reptilians and the... You guys still do it. It's like you do it in private and hide it. You can't hide anything from me, right? The way you level up is the descension of consciousness. It's activating the release of this Kundalini flow as Shiva activates Shakti and she starts to make her ascent. The next video I'll record, there's so few people in the collective that watches this who are really deep in the Kundalini expression experience, this version of the light body. My next video I'm probably going to record it later today because my hair looks nice today. I am going to put that up for you guys. I'll probably get like 35 views. If you do things in the spiritual world to get views or become popular, I know how to do that. I can make a video that gets 1 million views and it's all like over the top. I have all the information, the spiritual marketing techniques to do that. I'm not in it for quick fixes here, It's like I want to find the people who are doing this grounded alignment and really ushering the new energy era rather than getting distracted with every, I can't believe these people can sleep at night. The whole financial system's about to collapse, and if you pay for this course, I'll help you ascend to the 5th dimension. Dude, that's where you came from. That's going backwards. You were all up in this spiritual whatever, and then you had the honor and the privilege to come down here on earth and infuse this biological body with consciousness. That's your fucking job. It's my job to remind you that's your fucking job. So if 35 people watch this, that's plenty. All right, let's see what I got and what I missed. Yeah, I said if you get your light aligned with the body, you'll never have to worry about where you're going because you can go anywhere you want. This will require you to be completely autonomous. You can't be talking about my sister and I, my husband and I. It cannot be done if you're holding on to each other in yet another apocalypse. Let go. Right? You have to have the autonomy. Right? I think that's why a lot of us are single. Or if you do have a family and a partner, you understand it's a temporary relationship for the relative reality, to make your life easier in the relative reality. If you're in a relationship that's not making your life easier in the relative reality, you need to walk out of it to be able to really descend the consciousness, right? I know it sucks leaving your family. I had to do it to come here. And I'm not talking about like physically packing your suitcases and leaving your family. This is an inside job to create complete sovereignty within yourself and stop micromanaging the people in your life, your family, or allowing them to micromanage you. If you do have a nice family and situation, it should be to support your humanity for this great purpose you have coming to earth, which is descending your I am consciousness into physical form in a grounded, aligned way, which is how if you do that, you have brought the Christ consciousness to earth. Job well done, right? It's going to bang out, refract out, bing, bounce out into all these open passageways that Tobias's got covered, that Ashtar's got covered, that all these beings without a body have covered. Your part of this job is to descend your consciousness into this energy form called biology. That brings the Christos consciousness to earth. You've done your job. Then you have the light body, which allows you to travel anywhere in the cosmos at any time. You'll never be stuck in a reincarnation cycle. You'll never be stuck in the metaverse technology. You're never going to be stuck back on Mars, right? It's so weird. So like during the Star Wars, a lot of you guys got pulled up into a Mars reality where you were slaves in the gold mine, and I keep seeing people not being willing to integrate these cosmic parts and pieces, right? You need to bring those home. You need to bring not just your I am consciousness into the physical form, but you bring all the parts and pieces into the physical form. So never say never, right? Never in a million years did I think 8 years into enlightenment, I'm like 8.5 years into enlightenment, right? That I'd be on such a profound healing journey. I was so busy identifying the samskaras, the energetic imprints in my other lifetimes, right? The Atlantean ones, the Yeshua one, all these important lifetimes. I was so busy integrating and rearranging those samskaras, those energetic imprints, which is how Yeshua healed people, right? He would go into their divine blueprint, find the samskara, the energetic imprint that was creating someone being blind, or someone like Mary Magdalene having these demons that needed to be run off. That was from a samskara, right? So I taught divine blueprint. I taught how to identify your samskaras. People paid me to find their samskaras, their energetic imprints that were causing them problems in this life, right? I recently found an audio book where a woman was having a severe brain problem, severe brain disease, and doctors couldn't figure out what to do. They wanted to open up and do a surgery on her brain. She found through hypnosis a samskara in an Atlantean lifetime. I'm not the only one who teaches this. This was someone who had learned from Dolores Cannon, but found the samskara in the Atlantean lifetime, and then her brain thing went away. Right? So that's how Yeshua healed people. That's what I used to teach. I don't anymore. You guys can figure it out on your own, or you can pay the price on my website for me to do it with you. It's not cheap, So, but I never thought 8 years in that I would have to heal this lifetime. This lifetime became the ultimate samskara that I have been. And that happened when someone came in who I really thought was family to help get all these materials out, to have that masculine counterbalance. I got St. G back here. He has no body, but he's like, I'm not going to leave you hanging. We're family, right? He is my family. We have so much history. He's like, I'm not leaving you hanging, right? But that set off something inside of me, and I'm not mad at it, where it's like this lifetime prior to enlightenment, and then the samskara of post-enlightenment, like cosmic level betrayal that I just experienced, set off this massive healing journey inside of me. And, that's not the Shambra story. I'm enlightened, nothing bad's ever going to happen to me. I still live in my parents' basement and preach on social media from my mom's basement, kind of thing, right? And pretend like this human doesn't matter, you don't care about it, and look one way online and, can't fucking buy a hot dog. But yeah, you're enlightened, got it, yeah. I went through these phases too. Every single one. That's how I can talk about it. That's how I can see it. I went through these phases, right? But this cosmic level of betrayal, it's so weird. It set off this intense healing journey inside of me. And I'm not mad at it because, you know, the fascia of our body, right? What felt like if we didn't have fascia, it'd be like muscle and bone, and we would just look like skeletons with skin, right? The fascia like plumps it all up, right? And it just keeps everything flowing, but that's where the light enters. So for me, healing is seeing where the fascia is not lit up, right? The doorknob in my back, right? The knife that's still in my back from the cosmic betrayal I experienced over the summer, right? I'm leaving the knife there for a little bit because I don't want to pull it out and start swinging it right now. I got to wait till I'm calm. Right? But all of these samskaras, these energetic imprints that you're rearranging through the light of awareness, by just simply becoming aware of them, they live in the fascia, right? Doing that shadow work. Doing that shadow work inside of yourself, right? So if something is toxic, it's, you go, oh, that's toxic. I attracted a toxic person into my life. I don't think, oh my God, that person's wrong and bad. I think, oh my God, what toxicity inside of me attracted that person? Let me attend to myself, right? And it's so wholly fulfilling to know thyself. Know thyself. Charmaine always says that all the time. That's where the gold is, right? You go, oh, toxicity inside myself is just shadows that I haven't been willing to face. And it has set off this beauty in all areas of my life and how I see the world and how I interact with the world in a different way now. And how when you move energy in your body like that, you have movement in your bank account, right? Oh, all of a sudden this investment paid off. Last week I had an investment payoff. I know that that's directly related to me doing this work in the shadows, in the fascia, right? I know that, I mean, every day I get younger and younger. I get cuter. Wait, it's not a big deal to me. It's not, it's nice. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun, right? But it's not like my self-worth or anything's based on it. But your whole body, your bone structure, everything will change when you do that shadow work and you realize, oh, if I attracted someone toxic into my life, there was an energetic imprint that I hadn't seen, a samskara. And there was not just in this lifetime, these abandonment wounds, right? This fear of being abandoned, but it went deeper into a deep cosmic part of myself from original day one, leaving oneness where I was. There was a cosmic betrayal that happened there that I hadn't been willing to face until someone made me face it, right? So you live your life, you're going to be triggered, and it allows you to see where the focus is. So the moral of the story is, you know, and St. G saying, he's like, while I'm here, right? So he made me write this down. So when you allow sentience to be an expression, experience within your body of consciousness, right? It's going to be beautiful and wonderful and supremely satisfying, right? But it's also going to open up to the doors to the places where you have lied to yourself and or couldn't see clearly. I lived in this lifetime up into my enlightenment, and even after, someone really sophisticated came in and really pulled the wool over my eyes. Because I'm so trusting. I'm so loving. I'm so trusting. But what I realize is the sentience clears out all of these samskaras, these cause and effect karmas, right? And what happened for me was, as this sentience came in, is what allowed me to see all these things really clearly. allow me to get out of that really horrific situation I was in. And in July, August, right, the sentience piece was key, right? So when sentience comes in, it's going to highlight everywhere you have abandoned yourself, right? Hold on, how do I say this? The sentience piece came in and it cleared the samskara, the karma, the whatever, the garbage of every time I abandoned myself or my boundaries for the sake of peace or not being alone. Because as you will recall, I left my family to come here. I left my divine counterpart to come here. I'm not saying we just have one divine counterpart. I think a lot of us have many, or feminine, or, you know, whatever your pronouns or your preferences are, it doesn't really matter, right? But for me, I'm supremely feminine, right? I had to leave a divine counterpart to come here. And in order to survive on this earth, I realized, like, to have people around me, my story, what prior to enlightenment and prior to this sentience piece changing, flipping the script, I realized I had to abandon myself, my ethics, and my boundaries in order to have anybody around me. To keep my mom and my dad in my life, I had to abandon myself and my boundaries. To keep this new business partner doing whatever he said he was going to do but didn't do, I had to abandon myself and my boundaries again to not be alone, right? So I had to own that, right? And that's where the magic lies. It's not in, I know it's, you really want to have some kind of magical thing. You know, here's a new activation and here's the new channel that'll get you pumped up and we're all in costumes and outfits and then this is really going to work this time and the whole financial system's collapsing so you won't need money anymore and this is happening and that's happening and you just jump timelines and blah. You know, I know that that is more attractive. Just like when you're hungry and you're tired, McDonald's drive-thru is more attractive than sitting down and cooking yourself a nice dinner, right? But if I've learned anything in this life, it's that if you just dig deep and make yourself the nice dinner, nice healthy dinner, instead of driving through the McDonald's drive-thru every night on your way home from work or whatever, just an example, right? Then it exponentially unfolds in your life, right? So let's go through the light body codes. I did this in the email newsletter, right? So increasing your capacity to receive abundance in all forms, especially love, right? Abundance in all, money's just energy. Ability to receive in all forms. You need to have a nervous system that is wired to receive. You were born with a nervous system that was not wired to receive. You reprogram that by being open to all, by allowing self-love, compassion, clarity, and faith. Right? The access code in the light body codes is all about the subconscious mind. If you comb through the samsaras of life, right, and you start to understand yourself and the makeup and meditation allows you to watch the patterns that repeat in your brain that are keeping you stuck in a scarcity loop and an old energy pattern. Access to greater subconscious happens at the mind level. Right? Some brain, physical brain, but the mental body. Capacity, right, is not just the nervous system either. It's the fascia piece I was talking about, right? For me, the fascia feels like it's electromagnetic, right? It's electromagnetic, but when you introduce the I am that I am consciousness and it's released through the spine, it begins to add the plasma into the electromagnetic pulses of the fascia. Like I experience, like when my fascia is lit up and everything is functioning well in the body, as it is today, right? I see it like little lightning storms happening inside of the connective tissue of the body called fascia, right? So capacity is really happening at a biological level, right? meta and physical. And then the access piece is really happening in the mental body and the human brain, in the neurons, and the neural structure, right? We're creating new neural networks and possibly, hopefully, getting rid of unnecessary neurons. There's too many neurons in a human brain. It's that critical ignoring. It's just too much information coming through. You've got to start filtering it. You do that through meditation, or if you guys want to call it active allowing. Active allowing and meditation are the same things, right? So capacity, access. Then we have immediacy. For me, I'd like to focus on immediacy as something that deals with the emotional body, right? As soon as you have an emotion, feel the feeling, identify where it comes from. So many people are walking through life not realizing that unfelt emotions are driving their choices. People think they choose from logic. Nobody is choosing from logic. Not nobody, not nowhere, not the most mathematical, logical mind is actually making a choice from logic. Emotions rule your decisions. So if you feel the feeling, as the feeling comes up, immediacy, then your unfelt, repressed emotions will not be causing havoc in your life. These scarcity stories, these I can't leave the house stories, you're afraid to fucking leave the goddamn house, and you are a goddamn master. You're a master. Brush that dirt off your shoulders. You got 99 problems that a bitch ain't one. You gotta start leaving the house. I know there's some of you that just sit in your pajamas all day. I did it, I know. Anything I point out is because I have fucking done it, right? I'm here with you. I'm not St. G who had his last lifetime in the 1700s, then made a Mark Twain character, right? That was not a descendant consciousness, just an avatar. It was a very good one, St. G, don't get me wrong, right? So immediacy deals with the emotional body, capacity, biological body, meta and physical, access, mind, and then the neural networks, mental body, and the brain, right? Immediacy, emotional body, efficiency. Efficiency is not putting shit off for later. I mean, it's as little as, say there's a mess in your kitchen and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then you wake up one day and your whole house is a fucking disaster. You can't be grounded alignment if your house isn't clean. It's truly that simple. Efficiency is, I'm just gonna do the dishes now, right? I'll just do the dishes now so I can wake up to a clean house tomorrow. Then I can have a clean house, and then I can talk to God, and then I can really understand what's happening, and I can identify the emotion that's happening, and I can comb through the subconscious because I'm not sitting in a pig pen of my own house, right? The more human and basic it seems, right? Cleaning your house and getting dressed and going out into the world costs you nothing. And it's going to, the impacts of it are going to be way greater than any activation, flashy YouTube, fear-monger, spiritual world, big flashy shit that has 100,000 views. Cleaning your house, getting dressed, and going out in the world, putting your phone up for a bit will have a greater impact than anything else on you. These are the light body codes. Once you descend your consciousness into the light body, then you can go have all the fun you want. You don't hit the eject button. This is not astral travel, right? You now have a light body, and the funny thing is the inside turns out and the outside turns in, right? You're traveling the cosmos, but they live inside of you. Less is more in the new energy era. Simplicity is the greatest form of sophistication, right? Everyone's spiritual advice is like, you got to do this before the earth splits, and then this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. Dude, meditate, clean your fucking house, eat some fruits and vegetables, right? Do some stretches. to create the space in the body, in the fascia, for the light to descend, you need to have space in the body. Do some stretches. I know some of you are old, in your silver years. You are beautiful in your silver years. It doesn't have to be some complicated yoga program, right? Basic stretches. Just assume the breath. So the energies on earth are very, anything that can get your attention will get it, right? So samadhi, bliss, literally translates to concentration. Concentration on the God also that lives within you. Oh my God, 55 minutes? I've been talking for 55 minutes. My concept of time and space is quite a bit, right? And those of you who feel like you're just doing time on earth after enlightenment, find something, anything that will make you passionate. Come to one of our events. We are going to blow it up. This European tour is going to be so much fun. We've got games going in Romania. We're going to go out to dinner. We're probably going to have too much to drink. Shit happens, right? In Germany, we're going to do all sorts of things together in the workshop and outside the workshop, because it's new energy integrates best when you're having fun with beings like us, with beings like yourself, right? Meeting people who are like you is huge and life-altering. And going bowling or playing pool or whatever, you do not have to drink. There are plenty of people who come to our events who do not drink alcohol. All right, we have fun in all different ways. And then in France, we have like this whole beautiful 3-day official event, and then we're all going on a field trip to sacred sites that relate to Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, and Sarah, the daughter of Yeshua. I am so excited. We are gonna go on a field trip. Dulce just put together a map. It's like a little treasure map, right? So, and if you don't come to an event with us, find something you love, right? That's why I surfed for so long. I was after enlightenment, I was like, I'm just doing time on earth. I can't stand being here. I don't get a kick out of food, sex, drugs, and alcohol anymore. I need to find something to do. So I started to learn how to surf and using it as a way to descend my consciousness. Once that ran its course, now I'm onto the horse, right? It's like, I'm here on earth. I need to find something that is earth related where I can put some of you knit. Dawn, I think you knit. I think or like sew. It's beautiful. Or garden or painting. Tammy, your paintings are just so fucking fabulous. Alice is working on her children's book, right? And so find a way to not be doing time, because that's not how you bring energy and consciousness together. All right, so I never want to go over an hour. We've hit an hour. Thank you, St. G, for standing back here, holding the space for us, kind of brushing everybody else off. Last week, every volunteer we work with, let's see if I can get everybody's name. Eminem, Alice, Dase, Keiko, Roberta, Nicole, Ursula, I think I got them all. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. We spent the whole week getting all of the details for our European tour dialed in. So much goes into these events, the contract negotiations with the hotels, making sure everybody's dietary restrictions are met, collecting all of the liability waivers. We run this in a very professional way. I have a very professional background in negotiating these things, and it's a lot of work. And if I didn't have that whole list of volunteers I just gave you, my hair would be falling out, but it's not. I'm healthy, I'm happy. I've been riding my horse a lot, and I am so in love with each and every one of you. You guys, don't get sucked into all the, if you choose, right? If you choose, don't get sucked into all the big fancy eject button spiritual stuff or pulled into the politics. We're not fighting the Romans, remember? We're moving beyond the devil, that is Maya, duality, delusion, and the barriers to love, right? That's what we're doing. We're not fighting the Romans or whatever. Earth's gonna earth, right? And God is always Godding anyway. This classic earth is gonna earth no matter what you do. Don't waste your time there. God is always Godding anyway. I need to repost that article. Ooh, big stretch, big stretch, big stretch. I'm saying so much more to you than the words. You know all this stuff. You chose to create this human avatar for this experience. Don't let all this other stuff distract you from what you came here to do. I am that I am. Sarah, Lauren, whatever you want to fucking call me, and I am in love with you. You got this. You got this. Super grounded. In February, we'll do the high highs. I'll get you real high. That's not what this new light wave influx is doing right now, though. It's a slow build. Come February 7th through 17th, somewhere around there, it's going to start to... Let's be ready. Ground yourself so you don't fall down the wave. You stand up on your surfboard and you surf it. Cool, calm, collected, like the master that you are, rather than getting tumbled in it because you got distracted by politics and spiritual activations or just sulking in a corner. All right. Bye, guys.